Right, I've seen some heartbreaks in my time. I've seen last minute winners. I've seen VAR robberies. I mean, yesterday. But what I saw yesterday at the London Stadium, that was different level of psychological torture. Just because of where we could have been if that Casemiro goal, 5 centimeter rule or that. Yeah, whatever in it, right? But you know what? We're here. We're breathing, and then we've got this situation, the biggest story of Man United world isn't even a fact that we're still fourth in the table. It's about one man, his massive head of hair. He had a counter that has had to reset to 0. I'm talking, of course, about, I think his name's Frank Ilett. Is that his name? Sorry if I say it wrong. United Strand, for 494 days, Frank hasn't touched a pair of scissors. He vowed back in October 2024 that he wouldn't cut his hair until United won 5 games in a row, as he says. He's lived through Ten Hag, he's lived through Amorim, and he almost made it to the final finish line under Michael Carrick. We had won 4 on the bounce. Yeah, what? City, done. Arsenal, done. Spurs, done. Fulham, done. We went to West Ham yesterday, needed one more win to end the 500-day nightmare. And instead, we got a 1-1 draw that has left Frank, United Strand, speechless, and Wayne Rooney calling for him to be exiled from the country. I don't even know if he's actually in the country. Today, we're breaking down the most United heartbreak of the season, the Rooney versus the United Strand beef. Can you believe it? We're talking about certain people's heroes here, people, right? And this is why the reset might actually be the best thing for the club. I talk fast, keep up. The scissors are in a back drawer. Let's go. So we're going to have to talk about this agony. 494 days of agony, well, according to some. And to understand why yesterday, you have to look at the sheer endurance of this challenge. Frank started, what was it? 5th of October? 5th of October? I'm pretty sure. To put that into perspective, when this challenge started, Kobbie Mainoo was still being called a prospect. Now, he's the best midfielder in the league because obviously he's the best in the world, baby Sadorf. But United Strand has become this viral sensation, right? Nearly 2.5 million followers on Instagram because people have become obsessed with the state of his hair. Actually, no, he's not 2. I think it's 1.5 million followers on Instagram. I think I checked this the other day and it was mental with the amount of growth he's doing. He's growing into this massive afro. It's become a symbol of United's inconsistency. Every time we win 3, we lose the 4th. Every time we look like we're building momentum, the floor falls out, And until Michael Carrick arrived, Carrick has been the anti-hair manager. He's transforming this team into a winning machine. That 3-2 at the Emirates, epic. The 2-0 win over Spurs Saturday, clinical. We've arrived at London Stadium yesterday with the entire internet watching. And this is the problem I'm coming across with all of this, right? I could talk about everything surrounding yesterday and, United Strand, Rooney calling for him. My biggest takeaway from all of this is, when is it going to get his hair chopped off? Why are fans calling for his hair so much? Why are we providing it so much attention? The issue is, my whole thing is just leave him alone, because I do believe certain individuals wish to be in that position. They are going to work, grafting, day in, day out. And there's a guy over there who's sitting on a pool of, I don't know, sponsorships, ideas, money, whatever. I don't know the guy's background or anything that he has along with it, even if he is making money or not via Twitter, social media, but leave him to it. Don't get me wrong. Do I want this gimmick to end? Of course I do. But the guy's just getting in that bit because he ain't had a bit. If I remember, he said that he didn't even have a work going on for him for a little while or something around a year. But then it's like, now it's getting nasty, it's getting to a point where it's horrible. Some of the comments I was seeing yesterday, because why it don't make no sense to me, is everyone wants to focus on a scapegoat of why we didn't win yesterday. Wayne Rooney talking about pressures about, Man United and the team, and it should be about Carrick. He's absolutely right. It was all about the guy's hair yesterday, and it was nothing surrounded about Michael Carrick or the rest of it. But I just find, why should 11 grown men on the pitch according to some, about the team can't focus and there's extra motivation for the other team. Don't get me wrong, it's banner. But if you've been inside a game, especially when it's it don't matter what level you're at, you don't really think about stuff like that, about that motivation. You know, let's be real. West Ham's motivation is to not get relegated and to play for their contract, so they don't, you know, so when they go down, their wages ain't cut in half, or they don't have to move somewhere where they don't want to move. There's all different factors. Any excuse to provide for why Man United didn't win yesterday, you know, and nearly lost if it wasn't for a Sesko brilliant, you know, touch, and, you know, I don't even know how that went in, but it went in. It's stupid. If 11 men on the pitch are thinking about another man's grown, like literally his hair that's been grown to an afro curly state, you could say, right, then they're in the wrong profession, isn't it? They're not meant to be at our top side. And when it comes to this punditry around this guy's hair, don't get me wrong, it's a fun gimmick, because before the game, I don't remember this outrage whatsoever. It was all about, you know, Michael Carrick, how brilliant he's been tactically, how, you know, he's had differences in all different games. And you know what, yesterday, I don't feel there was anything even wrong with Carrick's tactics. I just think personnel were just not on the ball. I do believe that Sesko should have started against this low block kind of side, and hopefully he's learned that against these low block sides that you can't really be playing Cunha's false nines all the time, because they're going to drop the line deep no matter how much control you have on the ball. You can rely on individual brilliance as much as you want, but that's a video for another time. This is about this Frank fella, the United Strand. I just don't understand why you're laughing and joking and can't wait for the gimmick to end and all this kind of stuff, and you're kind of celebrating in a sense as a laugh or a joke. And then afterwards, all the frustration and anger that United, because we didn't capitalize on Chelsea drawing, or maybe potentially where Liverpool win, you know, the gap's in 3 points once more. You know, it has to go somewhere. But really and truly, the anger and the frustration shouldn't go to Frank, right? It should go towards, you know, the players, because the players weren't good enough yesterday. Your favourites, Cunha, one of my favourites, Mbumo, Bruno Fernandes, the Magnifico, Ahmad. You know, even though it was the pass before Mbumo, I know Mbumo got the assist. But yesterday, they weren't good enough. And a moment of ill concentration while letting the ball bounce, they got their goal, you know, in the end, eventually, you know. And that was from literally one long ball. That's down to the defenders. You know, no one's going to talk about Dalot's overhit crossing. My thing is, it was a huge point. But to go and gun for this man, this influencer, even though yes, sure, we're all sort of making some sort of money, whether it's more or less off the club, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. He's just found something that you lot haven't, or I haven't, or the next Tom, Dick and Harry hasn't. You can label it all different ways. You know, he's just trying to be a Man United fan. Don't get me wrong. There will be a point where, you know, I find where is it about Man United or whatever, but, you know, you should be a fan of the club. You should shave off your head. Like, there will be that point where is it about the money or is it the club? You come into the world pretty much alone, and you exit it alone. You know, you do what you have to do no matter what to survive, right? Especially when you're moving broke and you ain't got a job to kind of back that, so it will make any sort of money. And that's just my opinion off of all of it. I don't know what yours is, but I'm hoping you lot are living your lives doing the best you can for your families and yourselves. So with this one, he's found something that everyone else hasn't, and he's profiting off of it clearly, and he's having fun with it as well. You know, linking up with Matty FC and all the rest of them. The other guy, the weirdo that was singing outside of Man United, doing a rap stuff, but he's found something that suits him. It might be something that suits his personality, even though if not for me, might be for somebody else. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm headed with this whole United Strand thing. I just think people need to focus on why it went wrong yesterday, not because of somebody's hair, yeah? And the fact that it's getting attention goes to show what it really is about, and how much he's, you know, the idea has been something great. You know, it's been nearly year and a half since he started. So whichever way you want to view it is down to you. I'm not trying to tell you anything, but you got, you know, I'm probably sure his hero coming out in Wayne Rooney, giving it even more attention, blowing it up. And you can all see the video for yourselves or the quotes for yourselves. It's like you're going to send him or exile him to the other side of the world because the players need to focus and so on. It's stupid, isn't it? Like, Wayne Rooney needs to do better. The only way to shut out the noise is not talk about it, you know? Stop giving it attention, and you just gave it more attention. You are Wayne Rooney. At the end of the day, you are now going to be all over the media, giving him A, B, C, kind of D kind of invitations to grow more followers. And then it goes that way. Then rivals start jumping on the bandwagon, and then he blows up even more. But that's that, you know, it's like clockwork. When can he cut it? Because it's going to be the same thing next time when Man United win 4 games in a row and it's the last one, you know? So really and truly, question is what do you think? You know, is the United Strand challenge, a distraction that needs to go away? Or are you like me when you're absolutely loving the drama of it all, to be fair? So, like, I feel for him because he's probably waking up to absolute nasty messages that he doesn't need. So here we are, man. So you lot make up your damn minds of what it is. Some of you may not even care. Yeah, the counter's back at 0. The clock's going back again. And the media will give it more attention again and again and again. But anyways, people, smash the like, subscribe if you're brand new. And yeah, move on to the next.